What is up, folks? I need to fix this. I forgot from yesterday. So let's get this back fixed, right? This is our web browser with small video window, which really is just my other monitor. Let me get this fixed. I can't remember like how big I had this little window over here. I'll just try to minimize it like this. Let's see, whoops, I'm gonna go like this. Kind of like this. Well, let's see. This, what were we gonna do with this? Oh, we don't even have this. Game trailer window, remove. Alrighty, what is up, folks? Yeah, I think Anth needs some presets setting up. I need a lot of things, Fluke. You know what I really need? A producer. Yes. How awesome would it be? Could you imagine if I was like back in my college days, living in an apartment with a bunch of other dudes, one of which would be an awesome like producer type dude, and he would set everything up for me and dial things in. Oh man, that would be so sweet. But I do not have that. Unfortunately, I have nada. I have a whole lot of nada. Okay, I'm putting a trailer sound on a little bit. Hopefully it's quite low. Not sure about that. Alrighty, so here we are, folks. It is, let's see, it is Tuesday, right? Yeah, that whole show yesterday with Steve like threw everything off kilter a little bit. I was not prepared for that. Had no idea that this has happened a number of times too. It's crazy because Steve has tried to contact me prior to the show, letting me know that the option was there that he might be able to come on the show. And for some reason, I just never end up getting any of his messages. And I find out either when the show is like in progress or like 2 minutes before the show or whatever. So yesterday was absolutely a bit of a shit show. But you know what? It is all giznud in the hisnud, as they say. So it's not really that big of a deal. Alrighty, so what did I want to get into today? So one of the things that I wanted to cover yesterday is I was going to talk about there's all these little games that are coming out onto Steam, and some of them just fly under the radar like you wouldn't believe. And they're just out there, and a lot of them I don't focus on them, but every once in a while what I will do is I will play this little game. I'll play this little game where I go to Steam and just start looking at random stuff, like just looking at all the games that are upcoming, and I look at their logos, and I'm telling you, there is a lot that you can learn from a logo, because if it's a really nice logo, you feel like, okay, here's a company that maybe has a little bit of money. Maybe they're not just one dude in their mom's garage banging away on Unity. And then you see these other logos where it looks like he got mom to make the logo, and it's kind of embarrassing. But what we do want to do is we want to take a look at some of these games that are flying under the radar. The other thing that I wanted to get into today is I wanted to get into Pirate Survival Fantasy Shooter. Yeah, this is some rando game that came out of the blue here. Let's see. Let me switch over to web browser with small video window, and I might need to like redo this, I think, because I'm thinking this is kind of a little bit big here. Let's see here. I want to reduce this a little bit. Get this. You know what? It's really hard in OBS to like get your windows like dialed exactly the way you want to. It really can be rather difficult. I'm just gonna roll with it like this for now and see if this is halfway decent. Okay, so this is Pirate Survival Fantasy Shooter, and Meow Studios is the developer of this game, and they went ahead and contacted me via email, and said, hey, would you like a key to this game? And I said, sure, I'll take a key to this game. I do a daily live stream. I got to talk about stuff every single day. Some days there isn't nothing to talk about, and I have to make something up kind of out of the blue. So if I can play rando VR games and maybe tell you a little something about it, and who knows, there could be a diamond in the rough. There could be some unknown VR game that no one really knows about that is actually quite good. Something like Dimensional. And so I'm always willing to try some of these little tiny indie games. But what I tell every developer, I tell them the same thing. I say, look, I will try your game. I'll probably talk about your game, but I cannot guarantee that I will say anything nice about your game. It's just going to depend whether or not your game tickles my fancy or it doesn't. I'm going to try to be honest. I'm going to try to be fair. But, just because you're giving me a key is not guaranteeing you any type of good coverage whatsoever. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for this game. There is a trailer. This is an indie-ass indie game, all right? I'm not going to lie. It is an indie-ass indie game. You never know. I get these things sent to me. Okay, pirate survival fantasy shooter. Here it is. Here is a trailer. Let's go ahead and watch this for a second. Probably have to resize this. All right, we'll cut that a little bit short. Don't really need to full screen it too much, right? Okay, so that is this game. It is called Pirate Survival Fantasy Shooter. It is available today. The standard price is $10, but you can get it for $8.99. Now, the question is, should you buy this game? The answer is hell no, okay? I'm sorry, Meow Studios. I'm so very sorry. But this is the kind of game that really needed to come out in the year of our Lord 2016. This game should not be out in the year 2018. And if it is out in the year 2018, it should probably cost like $1.99 or $2.99 or something like that. And I hate coming on here and saying this type of stuff because I know that someone busted their ass working on this possibly for years upon a time. It could have been multiple people could have been working on this. They could have put a lot of time and effort into this, and this could be their ultimate dream. They had a dream. They wanted to make a video game. They wanted to make a VR game. They were able to make a VR game. They were able to get it up on Steam. The Steam page looks halfway decent. Like if we look at this Steam page, logo is halfway decent. Price $8.90, $10. But man, I gotta tell you, folks, there is nothing pretty extraordinary about this game. I played it. I was there. I tried it. I gave it the old college try. The only thing that this game did for me, period, was scare the living daylights out of me. And it scared the living daylights out of me because when you get to the second level, there are black spiders that are shaped quite similar to how black widows are shaped. And for whatever reason, I have this issue with spiders, especially black widows. Now, there's a lot of spiders that don't bother me at all. We'll have spiders crawling around in our house, your average kind of a brownish spider. We even get these wolf spiders that are like hairy and they jump super far. We get, of course, daddy long legs, all kinds of different spiders. Most of them don't bother me. Black widows, I don't know what it is about a black widow, but that black spider with that big giant butt, and you just know it's a black widow, they scare the living daylights out of me. They really do. And I tweeted about this the other day. This was the game that I played. I played the first level where you get these shooting guns and you're just kind of banging away at everything. At first, it kind of feels like Dick Wilde slightly, but a super poor man's version of Dick Wilde. I didn't feel like the controls were very intuitive. Maybe built more for the HTC Vive than the Oculus Rift, and it might have felt just a little bit janky on the Oculus Rift. But the first level really, was nothing extraordinary. You're just kind of shooting shit all over. And one of the things I told the developer is see these guns and see all this like smoke and magical stuff that kind of generates around the guns. You don't really see it too much right here. But I'm telling you, in a lot of this game, there's all these smoke and effects that are coming all over your gun, and you can barely see what the hell you're shooting at. I told that to the developer. The other thing I told the developer is that when you get to level 2, you got realistic spiders. This is the level right here, and you could hardly see what's going on because look at all the smoke and stuff coming out of the guns. But there are realistic Black Widow looking spiders, and they're not even that realistic, but I can tell you I had tons of these Black Widows that were coming at me from this direction. I was shooting the Black Widows. They're about the size of a household cat, so it wasn't that big of a deal, and they're just coming in a straight line, and I'm able to shoot them from far away. But I started to hear some noise behind me. I started to hear some noise to the side of me. And I was like, oh my God, if this is going to be a big ass Black Widow that is right up in my face, and I turned and it was a big ass Black Widow, I'm telling you, my Oculus Rift flying. It literally went flying. I was like, get the F out of Dodge. I couldn't get out of that game fast enough. I have an irrational fear of spiders. And so I told the developer, Meow Studios, I said, dude, you guys got to give us an option to opt out of the spider level. If anybody is going to make a game like this, give us the option to opt out of the spider level. This is Pirate Survival Fantasy Shooter by Meow Studios, and I got to give a thumbs down to this one. I didn't play that far into it, but I couldn't. I'm not going in there again. If there's no option to move past that spider level, there is no way in hell I'm going back into this game again. And I'm probably giving this game way too much publicity with all that I'm talking about it. This game is a game that might have done halfway decent in the year 2016, but I just don't think it can compete in this modern day and this modern time, especially with the redonkulous amount of sales that we have going on Steam. Oh my God, there are some awesome sales that are going on Steam. There are so many games on sale. Me and Steve, we were talking about this yesterday during yesterday's show. I was just randomly going through a list, seeing all these games that were on sale. And after the show was over, I went back and looked at it more, and I was like, how many of these games are ranked in like the top 100 of best VR games out there and that are on sale? And it was a crazy high number. It was kind of amazing how many games are on sale. It was just kind of ridiculous. Okay, so I'm going to put on a different trailer real quick, and I'll go ahead and check chat and see what chat's talking about. Let's see, what can I put on here? How about Moss Accolades trailer? We'll go ahead and throw that one on. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Crunchy says, it is because the black shiny exoskeleton. I'm telling you, it doesn't even have to look that realistic. It was not that realistic looking. The spiders aren't that realistic, but they're shaped in the general shape of a Black Widow. It's in the general shape of a Black Widow. And I have a thing for Black Widows. Now, I've been in a lot of other games that have had spiders, and I've been able to deal with it. Rush of Blood on PlayStation VR has a level like spoilers, but Rush of Blood on PlayStation VR, you want to talk about the spider level to end all spider levels? Rush of Blood has an incredible spider level that you deal with basically tarantula looking type spiders. And I was able to deal with that, as scary as it was. And oh my God, it was scary. They did that level absolutely fantastic. Anybody that has ever played through Rush of Blood and at least gotten to the spider level, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been in Edge of Nowhere. I've been in Theseus. I've been in Vindicta. I've been in a lot of games that have spider-like creatures. But here's the difference. Edge of Nowhere, Theseus, they made the spider, they didn't make it look like a real human spider that would be on planet Earth. They made it look slightly different, kind of like a weird alien type spider. And my brain is able to say, that is not real. That's something that we don't see on a regular basis. We don't need to worry about that. It looks scary. It looks menacing. It will freak you out a little bit, but it doesn't look like a realistic spider. Vindicta has a lot of creepy, crawly things all over the place, but they're all robots. They're all made out of robot parts. And once you realize it's robot parts, you're okay with that. But this game, it kind of looks like a realistic Black Widow just in the general shape, and it just instantly triggers the lizard part of my brain. Cannot deal with it. So that is the spider story. Is the dev in chat? Oh man, you know what? I believe that Meow Studios did follow me on Twitter, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't jump into chat. But you know what? Here's what I'll say for Meow Studios. I think any kind of publicity is better than no publicity. Even like there's no such thing as bad press, right? I mean, there's kind of bad press. If you get a bad review, not a good thing, but at least this game is maybe on a handful of people's radars where it never would have been before. Okay, the dev is in chat. Yeah, Meow Studios, not sure what he's responded to some of the harsh things I had to say about this being a 2016 game. I am curious, though. Let me see. I'll pop out chat, and I'll see if I can go back and find out what the dev said, because that is kind of interesting. I mean, dude, I feel bad. I honestly feel bad. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, I'm not in, but I got to be honest to my viewers. I got to be honest to my viewers. I can't hurt nobody's feelings. I mean, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I got to be honest to my viewers. Okay, let's see. Where can I find the dev in chat? Oh, Pirate Shooter. Okay, here's Pirate Shooter. Okay, so Pirate Shooter says, wow, you are playing my game. Thank you. Okay, let me scroll down and see if I can find some more Pirate Shooter. Pirate Shooter, I am still extremely happy you played it and made a live with it. Live stream probably. So many thanks. We will work to improve it. So, I mean, that's cool. I like the fact that, they're able to take criticism and they don't immediately go into like an attack mode or something like that. So that's cool. Much love to the devs for being in chat, being able to take some criticism. Meow Studios is not in a vacuum. There are so many other studios that are in a very similar boat. I think there's a lot of individual people out there that probably were playing games, VR games in 2016, playing VR games in 2017, and they looked at some of these simplistic games and they heard stories about how you can learn how to make a game on Unity yourself if you just bang away at it and you try it. And I got to imagine that there are people out there that were playing some games and said, you know what? I can make a game as good as this, I think, if I really spent like 9 months figuring out how to do it. And so a lot of people probably started down that road. The 9 months turned into 2 years. And the problem is it's 2018, and that game that you were going to make that might have actually survived a little bit in 2016, it is going to be incredibly difficult for that game to survive in 2018, because there's just so much more stuff available now. There's so much more of a library, and then you got to compete with these unbelievable sales that are going on everywhere. I mean, the sales are ridiculous. In fact, I wrote a little story on VR Game Rankings about the sales, and I'm not trying to like pub this story. I'm not trying to call attention to this story. I'm just going over here because actually my list of all the games that are on sale is on my computer in the other room, and I don't have that list in front of me, but I did make a little breakdown of 20, what I think are 20 good games in terms of the rankings, how high they're ranked, and the amount of money that they cost. So let's see here. I will go ahead and go over to this page. And okay, so let's go ahead and switch over here real quick. So the highest ranked game that I saw that was on sale where the sale is decent, I'm not highlighting every deal. If your game is 20% off, 15% off, that's not that big of a deal. You got to have a pretty decent discount here. And Elite Dangerous, 60% off, you can grab it for $12. It happened to be ranked 12th overall. I'm talking about the top 100 all platform chart. Pretty high ranking game. You can grab it for $12. Pavlov is ranked 16th on that chart, 40% off, $6. The Talos Principle, 50% off. It is $20. I think this one is freaking absolutely outstanding. I think every VR gamer that has even an inkling of an interest in puzzle games, you gotta grab the Talos Principle VR. Talos Principle, it is like AAA fare, no joke. Okay, Serious Sam 3, you can grab this one for 20 bones. To the Top, you can grab it for $12. It's ranked 22. Audio Shield, this doesn't go on sale all the time. It usually holds very, very solid to that $19.99 price. And you want to talk about an individual dude working out of his mom's basement. Now, I don't know that Dylan Fitterer is working out of his mom's basement, but now if he is, his mom has a McMansion and he's got a Lamborghini in the driveway because he has blown up. I'm pretty sure this dude, Dylan Fitterer, Audio Shield fame, this guy is a success story, a self-made millionaire. Okay, no, I don't know if he's a millionaire, but I'm pretty sure he's doing very well for himself. So much love for that. We'd love to see that. There's got to be these occasional rags to riches stories, and that dude blew up. Okay, number 30, we got Payday 2. 50% off. It's only $5 buckaroonies. Of course, this has been free for a long time. You could have got it for free. I don't know what it is, but this game does not speak to me. It's chaotic. I don't understand what the hell is going on, but I'm not a multiplayer guy, and sometimes I don't like the chaos of multiplayer when I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, number 35, Alien Isolation. I don't know that this is still on sale. It might be on sale today still. I think it ends on November 1st, so you better grab Alien Isolation with a quickness if you want to get your hands on this. $10. Man, it is huge. It's like 30 gigs for this whole game, but I really got to get back to it. I never have even seen the robots. I got to see the part where you see the alien at the very beginning, haven't even seen the robot. That is 75% off. It is $10. See, here's what I'm talking about, Meow Studios. How are you going to compete? Your game is $1 cheaper than Alien Isolation, which is probably one of the 20 best VR games we have, period. I know it's ranked 35th, but this is also competing with PlayStation VR games as well, and it's according to everybody else's rankings, but I think this belongs in the top 20th, and that's the kind of stuff you're competing with. You're competing against 11 Table Tennis VR, which is 50% off. Serious Sam, the first encounter is only $1 more, 75% off. This is the difficulty that you deal with. Space Pirate Trainer, the same price, an all-time VR classic. Killing Floor Incursion, I think incredibly underrated, ranked 52nd. You can get it for 10 spot. Oregon Quarter, we talked about it yesterday. Invisible Hours, the first VR movie. The Forest for $13.39. Assetto Corsa, great. Windlands, I didn't know about this one yesterday. Windlands for $7. This is another one of these games with Brookhaven Experiment. If you don't buy Windlands for $7, you don't know what's good for you because, oh my God, it is so worth $7. Primordian for $8, Zing for $12. So those are some of them. But the crazy thing is, actually, wait a minute. I can go to, I think I got a link right here to where some of these deals are. Like, these are the deals right here. This is just their overall specials. And I mean, there's so many more deals. There's so many more games that are on sale. So many more games I could have mentioned in this list that aren't in this list. Zombie Riot, $2. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Gorn is 15. Now, some of them just have kind of a minor discount. But Electronauts, half off. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter bundle, 4 bones for the Vanishing of Ethan Carter bundle. Not a bad deal in the least. Robinson, The Journey for $7.50, ridiculous. Theseus, $5. I mean, just so much good stuff. Football Nation VR, you can try playing. The reviews are mixed here, and it is a mixed bag. You really, honestly, you need wireless. I wonder if Steve is playing Football Nation VR, because if you turn on the experimental room scale mode and you had wireless, you could probably play Football Nation VR quite well. That is $4.50. Battle Dome, $2. $2 for Battle Dome. Just so many great sales. Blind, you can get Blind for $15. I still think Blind is kind of cool. Carly and the Reaper Man, which now has a mode you can play this game like Moss now. You can play this straight up very similar to Moss. $12.50 now that it has added the single player mode. The First Encounter, $10. It's just Rick and Morty is even on sale. I think it's kind of overrated, but it's on sale. And it goes on and on. We could basically spend all day just looking at these sales, and that's why it's very difficult for a company like Meow Studios to try to launch a game in this kind of environment talk about that. Bad timing. Not a good time to launch your game the day when there's a Steam sale just absolutely killing things. In Space is half price. Cold Iron, pretty good deal. Some of these deals, like Frankenstein Beyond the Time, never would buy that for $20, but it just chopped in half. Don't Knock Twice, chopped in half. Wizards is way down. I was watching that trailer yesterday. It kind of looked kind of cool in the trailer. But I should probably get back over to Apex Construct, $15. This has mixed reviews, and I think this is a damn shame. Apex Construct is a very interesting game. It has a story. It's doing something. I give props to fast travel games. I thought this was a high quality game. This is $15. Now, it's not like $7.99 or something, so you don't necessarily. Adrift is $5 spot for Adrift. I'm kind of tempted. I've never played Adrift. Should I buy Adrift for $5? What say you? Okay, let's go ahead and bounce back over here to chat. Let's see. Red Dead 2 had 600 million budget. VR games have few millions at best. That's why I doubt they spent 600 million on Red Dead Redemption 2. That seems phenomenal. Well, I don't know. It was in development for so long. So many people working on it. Supersonic Station says, I know someone that would buy a headset if Ethan Carter is VR. Yeah, Ethan Carter has a VR mode. Now, the game wasn't designed for VR, and it's you're just kind of walking along, and I think you have to use a corded controller. But I've played The Vanishing of Ethan Carter VR. It is not bad. You stand up with your controller and you just push forward. You go in whatever direction. It's not a bad deal. Let me throw on a different trailer because this Moss thing has been running for a minute. Did you guys notice that when Steve was here yesterday, I was able to quickly bounce to other trailers? I was bouncing around to different trailers quite frequently. And it's because Steve was talking for a little bit. And when he was talking, it gave me a chance to screw around and do something else. I'll put the Mosh Pit trailer on, which was kind of nice. Fluke says, I liked Adrift, worth the $5 in my opinion. John Shrubrook said, what time did the Steam sale start? I'm assuming he's saying that. Main Fan says, no, don't buy Adrift. It's $5, but still don't buy it. And MS Can says, I bought Wizards off your trailer yesterday. So MS Can, you were thinking the exact same thing I was thinking, because I just put on a completely random trailer. Putting that Wizards trailer on, it's just Wizards trailer. I clicked on it, and as I was talking to Steve, I forget what we happened to be talking about, but I noticed the trailer down there, and I was like, man, just watching this trailer, the Wizards looks really damn good. But I think I played the Wizards for a brief minute, and it didn't seem as good as the trailer made it seem. Charles Van Nolan says maybe Steve should be your producer. Yeah, but here's the deal. I want Steve to be in-house. I want him to be right here where he can set things up. He can be on a monitor. You know, we could switch to his camera where he's right there. So I need Steve and his entire family to move to Sacramento, California, and within the same neighborhood, you know, so he's really close. Move his entire liquor company that he works for all the way out to Sacramento, you know, so that way he can be my producer. That would be so wonderful. Kev Gretz says Sony has come to an agreement which will lend the design of the PlayStation VR headset to hardware developer Lenovo. Okay, we've got to check on that. Now, here's one thing I haven't done today, guys. I've been busy with all this other stuff. I've been gone all morning long. This show kind of has gotten off to a bit of a rocky start as well because I wasn't ready. We started late, all these other things. I have not checked no news whatsoever. So Half-Life 3 VR could currently be available right now, and I would have no freaking idea about it. So why don't we go ahead and check Upload VR. It is typically the #1 VR gaming website out there, to my chagrin. Yes, it is not VR Game Rankings. We're probably the number 1012th VR gaming website out there. So Upload VR probably #1. Why? Because they probably have the most people working for them and they're putting the most money at it and they're actually grabbing stories on a regular basis. And Qualcomm's new chips should enable better wireless VR. It's interesting, me and Steve yesterday we were talking about wireless VR and we're talking about where does wireless VR need to go? And I've said a number of times, I want to see this in future headsets, maybe not till the year 2020, but it would be really nice if headsets could start building some of that technology into the rigid head strap where every single headset sold has the ability to go wireless if you just buy an optional adapter. I think it makes perfect sense. I think it is intelligent. Maybe there's certain reasons why they're not doing it, but please continue to explore that. Dreams Beta will not support PSVR initially. Other VR devs already making content. So really the question I want to know about Dreams is when the hell is the game coming out? Forget the damn beta. So let's see here. There's an upcoming beta for the game, and PSVR is not going to be supported initially. We probably won't be playing Dreams in VR this year, but finger crossed we'll be able to dive in early 2019. So we still have really no freaking idea when Dreams is coming. So there's no date there. Netflix She-Ra and the Princess of Power jumps into VR. I heard there is some interesting She-Ra thing that you can check out in VR, so I'm kind of interested in that. Okay, you know what? I did see this story. I just saw the headline, but didn't actually read it. And this does sound interesting. I kind of wish I read this. No imminent VR hardware is good enough to go truly mainstream. And you got to love this, like, this quote where he's doing that. The picture makes a lot of sense, right? So basically, he's pretty much talking about the Oculus Quest. He's basically talking about the Oculus Quest. I would have to say, here's one of his quotes. I'm going to go ahead and steal this from Upload VR. So, of course, remember, read this full article over here at Upload VR, but I'm going to go ahead and grab this. He says, if I had to make a concrete bet, I would put a hypothetical ultimate ceiling for VR in the next 2 years at perhaps 50 million active users, and that could only happen with an unreasonable amount of investment that would be better spent on other parts of the problem, he said. That is okay. That is fine. That is great even. That is more than enough for a healthy VR ecosystem, especially given the high spending potential for engaged VR users, but well short of the ultimate potential. The ultimate potential likely refers to VR becoming an essential device that almost everyone owns, like a smartphone or PC, rather than a luxury entertainment product like the PS4. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, nothing earth-shattering about any of those quotes. HTC Vive has apparently joined the Virtual Link standard. That's good news, I suppose. Maybe the legit HTC Vive 2.0 will have a Virtual Link connector on the back of it. That kind of opens the door for that, I believe. And they're talking about horror games and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not hearing the Lenovo news you're talking about. Of course, we can go over to the PlayStation VR subreddit, and if there's some kind of Lenovo PlayStation VR thing, I think it would be on here. Remember, Daracene is going to be out November 6th. That's next week, right? Sometime next week. Is that next Tuesday, November 6th? Okay, Sony signed design patent license agreement with Lenovo. Wow, this is quite interesting. Sony and Lenovo. Now, I do want to know what's going on here because there might be a serious hint towards the future of like PSVR 2 and all these kinds of things. Sony Interactive Entertainment and Lenovo have signed a 2-year design patent license agreement that will allow Lenovo. Okay, so no, it's just an agreement that allows Lenovo to use some stuff that Sony has already patented. Okay, that's fine. That's not like they're partnering for PSVR 2 or something like that. So I don't think that's that huge of a deal. All right, let's go ahead back. Let's head back over to chat. The Rex Terra. I have a problem with Carter. Got the controller to work after fiddling a lot, but then the sounds don't work. Yeah, when stuff like that happens, have you tried going into Steam? There's an option in Steam where you can highlight the game and you could do something like repair or like there's an option that you can go into that could possibly repair how the files are set up for the Steam game. I always try doing that if I have a problem because sometimes I'll download a game on Steam, I'll click start game, it doesn't work. I'll do it a whole bunch of other times, it doesn't work. And sometimes I'll try to go into that repair the file thing that you can do in Steam, and sometimes that fixes it. Not really sure. The Rex Terra says, the other problem with Carter is that you either have to choose teleport or smooth turning. Turning in VR makes me sick in about 5 seconds. I completely agree with you, Rex Terra, if you're talking about smooth turning. I don't know anybody that can deal with smooth turning. For me, it's got to be the snap. Give me 45-degree snap turning that is very quick, very accurate. I'm perfectly good with snap turning. My brain can deal with snap turning. You start taking the world and going zzz like that, and oh, hell no, that is so wrong. So what I do, the Rex Terra, and what you should do is stand there with your controller in hand and physically turn your body. Physically turn your body. That's the way I played Resident Evil 7 for the most part. I physically turned my body, and the only thing I was really doing with the controller is I was pushing forward on the directional pad or pushing backwards and backing up. That's all I pretty much did, and I used my physical body. Now, eventually, you're going to have a problem with your wires and your cords and all that, but you got to do it. You got to do it, especially if you want some more immersion. You got to do it. Let's see. What else is going on? Phil Yarn says, since I got a prize from the show, I got a prize for someone in chat who has a PSVR and doesn't have Moss. Surprise, it's Moss, but the code is at home. I'll give out one day, maybe Saturday show. Hey, somebody would love Moss. If you got a code for Moss, somebody would love that. Charles Van Nolan says, looks totally new, but they seem like they know what they are doing. I think he's talking about another YouTube channel, but I missed it. Let's see. Yeah, verify the file in Steam. Verify the file. Yeah, there is some option to verify that. Main Fan says, yeah, you do. I deal with smooth turning, no problem. I don't know how people can deal with smooth turning. I wonder if you just power through it. You just power through it, and then maybe like after a week you can deal with it and you're immune. That could be a possibility. For me, smooth turning, like, as soon as I start it, I start to feel like, no, this is not right. This is going to give me a major migraine for hours, and I immediately stop. James Davis 911 says, snap turner myself. Yeah, I love snap turning. Works great for me. I have no problem with snap turning. And T-Bone says the Steam files repair process is called Verify Files Integrity, and it will download and repair any missing or corrupt files. Yeah, that does work pretty good. Short of that, you just uninstall the thing and you try reinstalling it and re-downloading it and doing the whole thing over, which I know sucks, but sometimes. Oh, Anthony changed this crazy trailer. You know what? Let me put on a trailer for a game I wanted to talk about. So yesterday I had these grand plans for showing all these games that I'd never heard of before, games that are flying below the radar. And this is one of them. This game is called, let me see, I think it's called Bladeline. Let's go ahead and I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Let's check out this trailer for just a minute. Okay, so that is Bladeline, and one of the things that I was going to do yesterday was I was going to highlight all these different Steam games that I really don't know anything about these games. They're flying way under the radar as far as I'm concerned, but there's all these different games that are coming out, and this is an example of one of them. Here's Bladeline. AI X Lab is the developer and publisher. The release date is November 13th. So this is going to be one of the November games that we're looking at. This game will unlock in approximately 13 days. And it looks like you're using like swords and stuff. It says Bladeline VR is a game designed to make players enjoy powerful sword actions, get the best score, prove your performance, and be the best swordsman ever. So it appears like you're kind of using like these laser swords. It has a bit of a Tron look to it. You're kind of running around battling guys. I like the colors. You know, I'm always a fan for the Tron aesthetic. Of course, it looks kind of cool here. Will it look really cool with the headset on? Like, that looks kind of cool. I'm liking the visual style there. But this game, Bladeline VR, flying way the hell under my radar. And this is just another example. There's a lot of games that are like this. It's why it's so difficult in this market. So many games flying below the radar, trying to get some attention. And then a lot of these games. Now, the good news for AIX Lab is by the time this game comes out on November 13th, the Steam sale will be a distant memory. I mean, not really a distant memory, but in the internet era, it'll be a distant memory. And so who knows what they're going to try to get for Bladeline. Maybe they'll try to get like $14.99, $19.99, $24.99. Who knows what they're going to try to get for this. And they're going to try to put this out on the market and try to get some sales for it. Jim Hall says, Bladeline, nice text logo. Yeah, you know, the logo, I mean, I do judge these logos. And the logo isn't too bad. You know, a lot of times I kind of have to judge these unknown games almost by their logo because you don't have a lot else to go on. And you could learn a lot about a company just looking at their logo. Okay, we've got some other ones, so we might as well go through some of these games. I think it's kind of interesting, these ones that are flying below the radar. There's a lot of stuff that is flying under the radar. Let's look at Neon VR. Here's another one that's flying under the radar. I got to resize this. Holdy uppy. And pump the volume a bit. Look at these beautiful, gorgeous visuals. And I'm going to have to resize this. Oh, maybe not. Oh, stay over there. Okay, really short trailer. Let's go ahead and roll it one more time. That looks like Primordian. Alrighty, so that is Neon Survive the Night, and this is another one of these games that is flying way the hell under the radar. Let's bounce over to the Steam page and check it out. Check out this, guys. This is coming November 1st. This is coming November 1st, so this is a mere 2 days away. Neon VR, the developer is Ascendant Studio. Logo is, logo's decent, I'd say. We don't know how much this game's going to cost. It says, welcome to the distant planet Neon. This place is like no other. Unique atmosphere on this planet makes everything UV fluorescent. Your time here will not be that adorable, though. Fight for survival and defeat dangerous creatures inhabiting this mesmerizing world. And I will agree, you look at this trailer, it looks pretty beautiful. It looks pretty gorgeous. I'm a sucker for this type of shit. This is why I was so captured by Primordian, just that jungle of Primordian and everything. This is another one of these games, Ascendant Studio. I'd like to check this out. Now, will this ultimately amount to anything? Who knows? We haven't heard very much about this. We just don't know. There is always that diamond in the rough possibility, though. So, there's always a possibility. But, like, what is, how much is this game going to cost? All these different developers are doing their thing. We have no idea. We're going to have to wait. It unlocks in approximately 2 days. These guys might try to get $29.99 for this. Who knows? It's going to be interesting. I love this market. It's so cool. Paradise Decay says, Anthony, check out The Bond on Steam and Oculus. It's free. I heard something about The Bond. Well, let me look up The Bond on Steam. So this is, okay, let's check this out, folks. Some live help from Paradise, The Bond. Far away in an alien forest, an ancient healer and her faithful beast seek out a sacred glade. Here she can connect with the web of life and see the world through others' eyes. But there's an imbalance, a dark presence. As the forest guardian, she must confront it. The Bond. So this is free. Director Ollie Reed and our talented team at Axis Studios have been hard at work crafting a new VR project that we're proud to share. The Bond. The Bond is a visually stunning VR short about an ancient healer and her connection with all living things good and evil. This looks dope. Here's another free experience. So I'm guessing this is more on the experiential side of the coin. But look at these graphics. Talk about color. Talk about vivid imagery. I wonder if this is going to be like a little cinematic thing, kind of like The Great Sea, but much, much shorter probably. Much briefer. Briefer. That's probably not a word. Much more brief. But man, you want to talk about color. That is some orgasmic color right there. Some bugs walking around in a magical alien world. This is right up my alley. I am absolutely going to have to download this right after today's show. Paradise, did you already get a chance to play this? What do you think? Let's go ahead and bounce over to chat. Paradise Decay says, doesn't Evasion claim to be a motion sickness less game? Like you can't get motion sickness. I know one of the recent releases claims it. And Crunchy says, so with all the praise that Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting, it seems that HDR is broken in it. And Paradise, of course, told me about The Bond, which we did check out that Steam page. That looks absolutely dope. And Paradise has not, I haven't had time to play it yet. Well, he says, not had time to play it yet, question mark. I have not played The Bond yet. I just found out about it today. I heard about it. I don't know if it was on a subreddit or if it was Upload VR or something like that. I did hear about this, and I'm definitely going to download this right after the show. Oh, that released September 20th. If we go over here, it says that The Bond released September 20th, 2018. That's weird, but now it says October 30th available now, so I think that's probably a mistake, I guess. These things always confuse me, though, when we get mistakes like that. Like, what is the story there? Fluke says, The Bond did impress me. It made me want to explore the world that they showed. Was it like really short, like a 10-minute kind of a thing, a 5-minute kind of a thing? I wonder how short it was. But yeah, so, there's a lot of games that are flying under the radar. I can go to another game that is flying under the radar. Okay, here's a game called Unsacrifice. I don't know jack squat about this, but let's go ahead and check this trailer out. Trailer has taken, obviously it's not like a super duper professional trailer, because like if this was a really, really super duper professional trailer, there would never be a boring part of the trailer. So if you see a trailer that has any boring segment to it, you know it wasn't very professionally done. This is a trailer that a developer probably made by filming footage of the game and putting certain music to it and trying to make it the best they can, which is perfectly fine. Hey, I'm not going to talk smack. I have not developed any games, so I have no smack to talk. I do like the Aztec thing and the bugs that are flying around that dead body over there. I'm a sucker for like Aztec and Incan and, like Southern America, like in the, let's see, Unsacrifice. Oh, there's a demo for this. To try the demo. But yeah, this is a game that I saw. Let me show you guys over here. So, speaking of logos, I kind of like this logo. Like, I think this logo is halfway decent for Unsacrifice. The developer is Unreal Spirit. And it says Unsacrifice is a classic survival horror game compile in a solo campaign. You will play as a priest apprentice, lost in a world full of mysteries, hidden dangers, and deformed creatures. Yeah, so I like the logo, but everything else about it is like super dark. Like these pictures are crazy dark. A lot of Steam games seem to do this though. They'll have like these really, really dark pictures. Kind of has a little bit of a Indiana Jones Inca exploration type thing. That is Unsacrifice. And I was looking at it. I was looking up the page and it said something about a demo. Unsacrifice free demo. Let me check that out. There is a demo. There's actually a demo for Unsacrifice. See right here, there's a demo that you can download. So I'll have to try to remember, see if I can try that demo out. Check it out. So that is another game flying way the hell under the radar. Let's see. I've got many more of these. I found a whole bunch of them that are slightly interesting, flying way the hell under the radar. Okay, how about The Days After? This looks like some kind of zombie game. Let's check this one out. Five Finger Studios.
Used to. I took a lot of things for granted. Waking up in the morning. Coming home at night. I just thought you'd always be there. Thought those days would never end. But those were the days before. And these are the days after.
I've never seen anything like this.
What happened here? You remember why I'm here. To find my family.
You need to get out of there. They're coming.
All right, so that is The Days After. This is another game that is flying way under the radar. We can check out the Steam page over here. And The Days After, logo, logo's kind of miscellaneous. Built from the ground up for VR, The Days After is a virtual reality survival shooter for the HTC Vive where players immerse themselves in a new world where the dead have taken over. What a unique concept. So this one is coming soon. Apparently they were gone for a while. Now we're back. We are so excited to be back on Steam from greenlight status. It has been a while, but we have been really ramping up production. So yeah, this is The Days After. I believe this is like a 2019 release probably. Looks kind of cool. I mean, if you look at some of these screenshots, it looks like an interesting world. Like those zombies look pretty cool. Like that looks pretty sweet right there. If it really actually looks like that. A lot of these screenshots are very dark, but the sunlight area looks kind of cool. So I mean, if this game really looks like this and I'm walking around and it really looks like that, that wouldn't be too shabby. So that is The Days After. Another unknown stunner. All right. Turn down the volume here. Okay, let's see. In chat, a friend of mine has been playing VR for years. He never got sick until one day he tried Air Car and decided to do a barrel roll. Air Car reminds me, that is one game where I tried to do smooth turning, and I tried it. I was like, let me just try to do smooth turning anyway, and it was a bad idea. MS Can says, too many zombies, to be honest. Crunchy says it will all depend on how it feels. Yeah, I mean, if it really looks like this, if you're walking around in neighborhoods with cars and stuff, and like this neighborhood right here, like, is it really going to look like this? Is it really going to feel like this? Or because sometimes we see these trailers, man, and you get into the VR game and it doesn't look anything really like this. But if it does look like this, it plays halfway decent. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. It's one to keep our eyes on, to be sure. Well, what we could do now is I could go ahead and check out the subreddits. Haven't really done that much today. Okay, let me switch over here. So we can see here, The Bond short story just released and it's free. So that is exciting. Definitely want to check that out. So I guess that is new today. This one guy is saying here with this question, he says, if the killer app that will bring VR to the masses and drive technology is the metaverse, who will provide the foundation? Yeah, it's going to take a long time. Honestly, we could be like 80 years away from that. Declining interest in room scale VR. Oh my goodness, I do not want this to be true because I love room scale VR. Playing Alien Isolation with a mouse and keyboard on the Vive made VR feel new to me again. Why would you play it with a mouse and keyboard though? Seated Robo Recall or E-Valkyrie somehow feels more fresh than standing new experiences like Zero Caliber. After 3 straight months of room scale VR and 1 month of wireless, my interest in VR was saved by, of all things, a flat game from 2014. It's profoundly shifted my view of what the future of VR will look like, and I was initially pretty convinced it would look like Ready Player One. I'm not sure exactly what this guy is talking about in terms of how are you playing room scale with a mouse and keyboard? Like, that doesn't seem like room scale to me. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people just don't have the rooms that you need to try to do this. Vive Pro is $6.99 at Micro Center. And Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, is it VR compatible? No, not unless you want to try to do Vorp X or something like that. We already know about the Jet Island update. So, yeah, not really seeing much going on. I mean, the biggest news really is the sales that are on Steam. I mean, there are some amazing sales that are going on Steam right now. Just seeing if there's any other last minute stuff that's popping off, and not really seeing anything. All right, so I'll go ahead and head back over to chat. Logan 68, Apocalypto by Mel Gibson. Great Aztec film. Oh my goodness, dude. Apocalypto might be in my top 10. It might be in my top 10. I mean, District 9, Chronicles. You know, I'm trying to think of The Prestige. I'm trying to think of some of the best movies that really impacted me, and Apocalypto was definitely one of those. And I love that Aztec, Mayan, Incan kind of history. Like, I would love an Assassin's Creed game that was based in like the height of the Mayan Empire or something, with like human sacrifices and just all kinds of weird stuff. And you might have to start out as a villager or something like that. That would be like, and you're harvesting corn and stuff. I mean, I don't know, it probably would be kind of boring, I guess. Maybe that's why they haven't done it. But there's something weird about that ancient time, like the whole Aztec, Incan, Mayan kind of time frame. That would be super cool. I would love a game like that, especially in VR too. I kind of wanted that Egyptian game, and then they have an Assassin's Creed that's Egyptian, right? They have that now. I just need it to be in VR though. See, I want to experience this stuff in VR. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for pretty close to an hour. Not a ton of stuff is popping off today. I could possibly grab one more unknown game. Yeah, Tomb Raider has been set in South America a number of times. Let me see. Here, I'll go ahead and grab one more unknown game. It is called the Afterwoods. Let's go ahead and check this trailer out. Looks a bit on that amateur side, wouldn't you say? Looks a little bit indie. I mean, at least the trailer, because like as the trailer's going by, you notice they just have like a standard font. They basically use like this really exciting music in the background. But look at that. Look at that font right there. The Book of Spells, Drovo. I mean, couldn't you maybe change that font a little bit? Add a little bit of text. They're back. You know, but they're trying. I mean, they're trying. At least they're cutting to different scenes and stuff. You know, they're trying to give a cinematic look to the trailer. It's not too bad. But it does look very, very indie, I would have to say. Like this right here. You know, but if I tried to make a trailer, this is how my trailer would look. You know, it'd be a very basic font. I'd be cutting to different little things, and it would probably be very much like this. So I can't talk too much smack. But if we go over here, we can go ahead and check out, this is the Steam page for the Afterwoods. I kind of like this logo. Like, this logo is actually pretty cool. The developer is Shiny Moss Studios, and this is supposed to be a November 2018 game. In this VR first-person RPG, a young mage embarks on a perilous journey to gather friendly familiars, find lost magic, and learn the secrets of the dark woods to defeat a dangerous nemesis who has taken the realm. This is Afterwoods. We're a small indie studio that's been working day and night to achieve a big dream. Deliver an engaging virtual reality RPG oozing with atmosphere, free movement, exciting battles, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and here's another small studio. They're going to try to compete with the big boys. They're going to come out with this game Afterwoods, and they're going to hope to be that diamond in the rough that somehow catches fire, kind of like a Carnage Chronicles. Carnage Chronicles was one of these kind of games. Nobody knew what Nordic Trolls was all about. Carnage Chronicles kind of came out of nowhere and was pretty impressive. Vanishing Realms. I mean, nobody really knew what Vanishing Realms was. I'm not saying the Afterwoods is going to compete with either of those games by any stretch of the imagination, but every once in a while we do have a diamond in the rough. Every once in a while there is a diamond in the rough. If anything will kill VR is the mountain of crap like this game. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, there's a lot of games that are coming out. I don't think a mountain of games will kill VR. What'll happen is, like, the worst case scenario is games like this are just completely ignored. They sell maybe 100, 200 copies. The company that made it loses a shit ton of money. But all it's going to do is it's just going to weed out developers that can't bring it. I mean, there's plenty of indie studios that are doing some things. Look at Beat Saber. Beat Saber is not the most complex designed game. Anybody could have kind of made Beat Saber if they thought about it. They had a really good idea. They executed on that idea. They did it well enough for it to work right. They had some great trailers. Those mixed reality trailers sold Beat Saber like none other. But I mean, I think there's a lot of developers that could have made Beat Saber and they could have been the next sensation, and everybody's hoping for that. But there's going to be a lot of failures along the way. All right, folks. Well, that has been another show. Gotta bounce out of here. That's going to go ahead and do it. A bit of a shit show today, kind of all over the map a little bit, but that's going to happen. Alrighty. So anyways, be sure to visit the website if you get an opportunity. Of course, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all those good things, and I will be back tomorrow on Halloween. I don't plan on wearing a costume, so sorry to disappoint you. I will not be dressed up like a weirdo. I wonder if any other YouTubers will do that. If you do, much love to you, because I will not be joining you. But I will be here about 11 a.m. Pacific time-ish tomorrow on Wednesday, and I will see you guys then. Take it easy. Later.